Educator and author is telling a ghost story with a message that's relevant in some current events today. Blood on the Chesapeake has garnered 2 national awards and several 5-star reviews. Author Dr. Randy Overbeck is with us to talk about his novel. Hey, Randy, good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to be here.
So before all else, it's a ghost story. Tell me a bit about it.
It's a ghost story that takes place on the eastern shore of the Chesapeake Bay. I love the one reviewer's commenting said it's a cold case murder mystery wrapped in a ghost story, served with a side of romance, all set in one of the most beautiful locations in the U.S.
Now, you live around here. What made you choose that particular setting, and give me a little piece of the story?
It's one of our favorite places. And I decided when I decided to write the first ghost story, I thought this was a good place to set it because there's a lot of history about ghosts on the area. And I chose that area to put a teacher who gets transplanted into this particular area to find a new job and finds a perfect job in this gorgeous place, but then finds out that the town has a really ugly secret behind it that's been hidden away for about 30 years.
Yeah, how does your novel touch on our responsibility if we see racial injustice?
Well, Daryl is a very typical privileged white guy. He's grown up in a white neighborhood in a white suburb up in Michigan and comes to this town, which is generally very white, and starts to begin to encounter some of the racism that's prevalent in when it takes place in 1998. And little by little, he begins to realize that there's something beneath the story, something beneath the water here about a really serious murder that took place of a black man, or a black student, some 30 years earlier. When he does that, he starts to begin to figure out what am I supposed to do about this, and it almost costs him his life. But he wrestles with the issue of if you're white and privileged and you find out about some racial injustice, what is your responsibility to do about that?
The book came out a year ago, but you mentioned to me that you think it really relates to what we're seeing today in America. What kind of thought have you been giving to that issue?
Well, I am a privileged white guy. I grew up in an area that was very white contained, and it really took me about between my 20 and 30 years of experience in schools to understand and see indications of racism in both in education that I was in and in the society that I experienced. So I wanted to try to bring that experience into the story itself. I really, of course, had no intention of anything having to do with Black Lives Matter. I'm not black. I can't speak for that. But what I can speak to is what a revelation looks like for somebody in my condition, somebody privileged white, when he encounters this reality. You set all of your books in schools because of your experience as a teacher and administrator. Was there other research you had to do for this particular story? A great deal. I did a lot of research on the area. We're not a native to the area, but we've been there many, many times. I also, a lot of the book takes place on the water, or several scenes take place on the water, so I'm not a sailor, so I had to go get help and learn how to speak the language of sailing on the Chesapeake Bay, which was fun and exciting. I really enjoyed it, and I hope your readers enjoy the experience as well.
So it's called Blood on the Chesapeake. It's the first in a series, and your second book is out too, right?
The second book is out as well. It's called Crimson at Cape May, and it just launched this past week. It takes place, of course, in a different town, Cape May, New Jersey, with a different ghost, but with the same character.
Okay, well, I'm really enjoying Blood on the Chesapeake. Thanks a lot for sending me a copy, and thanks for catching up with us today, Randy. It was great to see you.
It's good to see you, too. Best of luck.
Best of luck. And you can find the books on the Amazon website.